Hey guys, what's going on? Justin Fuller, Director of Digital Sales for TrueSpot, and I'm excited to announce that I'm working with some additional Lithia stores. Today we're going to be working with Crater, Ford, and Mazda to help those guys not only track their keys using our key tags, but also their vehicles using our car tags. Now, these guys aren't set up with necessarily a key machine of any sort, but it still works, right? You can hang them on some hooks, you can put them in a box, lock them at the end of the night. This allows you to track where they are when they're on the campus. But if you happen to have a key machine, maybe it's a KeyTrak or maybe a Keyper, I hope that you'll check out our integrations because we can do some really cool stuff with those guys. So let's hop on in and I'll show you exactly what it looks like to track your keys and track your cars with us. All right, guys, so here we are on the phone app. I've got my phone mirrored to the screen and there's three things I want to show you. The first is how to run a search. The second is how to connect tags. And the third is, hey, if it's the end of the night and I want to kind of check on everything all at once, what are some things that I can do? So let's talk about running a search. To run a search, you're gonna hit that very top left button, the find a key, find a car button. So I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Now I integrate your inventory feed, so you're gonna see everything in here, whether it has a tag or doesn't. Perfect example, that first car that's on the screen has the car and the key tag connected to it. You can see those two icons. The one right below it has no tags, right? No icons on it, so nothing's been connected to it. So in here, I would come in, type in a stock, type in a VIN, type in a partial, whatever it is. For the sake of this, I'm just gonna grab that very top one, right? So if we jump in here to this 2018 BMW, it's going to show me on the map where that vehicle is living, but also tell me right above the map. So if I'm reading above it, it'll say location, Ford main lot, South Central. So it's going to tell me the geofenced area that it's in, and then the closest gateway that it's living to as well. So when you walk out there, if you're staring at where the pin drop should be, it should be within a couple spots of where you're at, right? So pretty close. Walk you up to it, right? Now the key, if I touch that key icon, it's going to then pull up and show me and tell me where that key is. So it's going to show me on the map. And just a reminder, I can zoom in, I can zoom out. If I'm out there on the map, right, if I was out at this store right now, I would appear as a blue dot walking around. But then it's going to tell me, hey, it's on the Ford main lot, southwest, right? So when I'm zooming in and out here, I can see both of these items at once. So I can see the keys actually out on the lot right now over by the car. So chances are somebody has a key, right? So it makes it very easy to find something. So that's how you run a basic search. Now, number two, how do I connect up tags? Very simple to do, guys. On the back of your tags, there are QR codes, right? So let me flip this guy around here on my car tag. So all I've got to do is I'm going to lay these flat real quick. So if I come in here to True Tag Manager, second button down, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to find the car that I want to connect it to. Now, if it's already in your inventory feed, you're just going to search it out. If it's not, no big deal. In the top corner, there's a button you can hit. You can scan that barcode and add it in, and then it'll merge up with your feed later. But let's pretend it's this 2024 BMW 4 Series that's at the top, right? So tag the key. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do first. And then on there, on the back of that tag, I can either type in those letters and number, or I can get this little barcode scanner and I can just scan that tag. Now, this tag's not going to connect up because it's a dead tag, but I would just do this. It would scan it. Boom. Now we're connected and good to go. Then same thing for the car tag, right? Hit tag a car, hit that same button, and then I would scan the barcode on the back of this tag, right? So scan that. Boom. We're good to go. Now we've connected it up. So you saw how I did that while I was talking. Took what? 5 seconds? So when a truck comes with a bunch of keys and cars on it and you're checking them in, you could connect up and track every key and every car when they come off it. So as they start moving through a recon process, or maybe it's a new car and it's just going to go, PDI, clean and fill, photography, and out on the lot, you can make sure anytime it's changing hands, you know where the key is at and you know where that vehicle is at. So it becomes very helpful. So you can start to see how you can use this working through a recon process or anything like that, along with just retail, sales, anybody else. And I've got tags for service as well, too. Now, the third part that I want to show you on here on this app is something super cool. If I come in here to find something, maybe I'm not looking for one particular vehicle, but as a manager, maybe I just want to see where everything is right now. There's a map button I can hit. If I hit this map button, it'll pull up. So right now, I'm looking at where every single vehicle is on the lot. So you can see the two different lots that are right here, right? But maybe I want to switch this over to keys, right? Keys might be more important because at the end of a night, I might want to use this to go, okay, well, I've got keys out here right now, but at the end of the night, these keys need to make it back inside of the building, right? So when you're checking on things at the end of the night, it's kind of nice to know that you can do that. Now on the dashboard, you can even set up alerts and do some other things, which I'll show you next. So let's hop over. All right, guys, so here we are on the desktop dashboard, and you can see that map that I was just looking at. I can zoom in, I can zoom out. So you can see the different locations they're tracking at down here at Mazda, all through Ford in the different geofenced areas, and then even up here where they've got some spares, right? And all of this will be custom. When we create that network, this is going to be part of it. If you want to learn a little bit more about the network, how we build it, what we do to do it, I've got long form videos that'll explain a little bit more of that, or set up a demo. I'd love to talk to you out and explain how the technology works. But from here, you can see I have the counts, right? So if I want to see key counts, that's what I'm looking at. If I want vehicle counts, I can get that right here. But also up top, I can see those counts as well. So location of inventory, hey, I've got 152 vehicles sitting over the Mazda showroom, right? So that geofenced area over here, boom, we can look at it. If I want to look at Mazda Frontline, I've got one, right? It'll show me what it is if I want to see that as well. So on here, I can see. So as far as doing an audit, this is super simple, right? Same thing for keys, beginning of a night, end of a night, or just in general, if I want to know where stuff is, I can scroll through here and look and say, hey man, I've got 2 sets of keys over the detail lot right now. Here's my list of 2. They're over on the side of the screen. Kind of nice to know, right? Hey, what's over detail getting worked on right now? Hey, is my car ready? I'm trying to sell my customers ready to go. Hey, we can see that the car is still at detail. We can see that the keys are there, right? So I can check on keys. I can check on vehicles, what's over there. Pretty easy to do, right? Kind of nice to help you out. Across the top, there are a lot of different things that you can get to, and a lot of the same info you can get to the app, but it's more usable, I think, in the dashboard, right? So as I scroll across here, categorizations, that's just more broader term of where stuff is living. Last sightings, super cool. Anytime something leaves the lot, any of our tags, they leave the lot, it timestamps and it starts a timer on that. So as it builds time and gets from 4 to 24 hours, that item would live here. It goes to 24 to 72, it would live here, and so forth and so on. So at any given point, you'd be able to click on it and say, okay, when did this vehicle leave? It'll show you the timestamp, and it'll show you the last geofence it was at and the last gateway that picked it up. So which area of the dealership it left from. Very helpful to understand when stuff leaves, because if it does leave, 1, you want to know, and 2, maybe you want alerts. If something's been gone for more than 24 hours, you can come in here, go to the back office and say, hey, I'm going to get Patrick right here. I want to come down here and go, missing vehicle alerts. Anything gone for more than 24 hours, I want him to get an email each morning, right? Maybe that's one of your opening duty managers, right? Super simple to do here. If you want to track stuff off campus, I will just remind you that I do offer tags that track off campus. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. And if theft is a concern at your store, know that I've got tags with motion sensing alerts and all kinds of stuff that we can talk about. If you want to track something that's not a key or car, know that you absolutely can do that. You could take one of these triangle tags and hook it up to a jump box, a golf cart, gas card. Dealer plates are a big one that I have a lot of guys that use them. They'll just stick them to the back to it, right? So understand, you can get flexible with this. And all you would do is come into the system and type in a search and name it, right? So it'd be like Justin Plate, right? And it'll say, hey, this doesn't exist. Do you want to create a manual entry? Yes, I do. And then I would connect that tag to whatever that item is that I want to track, right? Super helpful. Lastly, photos. This is kind of cool. I can see all of the cars that have photos by what they've determined a certain number, right? But more importantly, I can click on this gray arrow to show me all the vehicles that don't have the adequate amount of photos they've determined. So if you pick that number to be 10 or 15 or whatever it is, what's helpful about this is, man, I bet you my photo booth guy could be way more efficient if every time he needed to take a photo of a car, he suddenly knew exactly where the car was at and exactly where the key is at. Same way my recon guys could be faster if they knew exactly where the car is at, exactly where the key is at. My sales guys could be faster if they knew exactly where the car is at and exactly where the key is, right? Keys come off of pegboards and get shoved into desks, put places left in cars, put in cup holders, all kinds of stuff. And cars get misparked. Let's just understand that and agree that that's a thing, right? Sometimes a guy will park behind service. He may be hiding it because he's trying to sell it, but this does happen, and this is where you can eliminate that. Related to that, if you're the inventory manager and you're trying to make sure everything's where it should be together, check this out. You can search out multiple vehicles at once. So let's say I want to come down here and say, hey, I'm looking at all my 23 to 25, and we'll go Fords. Maybe we'll go F-150s or something, right? So click on Ford, come down here, select my model. I'm going to go to F-150. Boom, select that. I can even go by trim if I wanted to. Once I've done that, I can turn on the pins and see where all of these guys are sitting. So this way I can come down here and see where these guys are living. So if I've got one rogue guy that's out here, now maybe he's used, maybe he's not, but I can click on him. It'll tell me. So this is a 2023 F-150, right? So I can click on it, get any details related to it. If there's vehicle details that you were pulling over from that feed, you can get all that info here. And also if you want to leave a note, right? Maybe I want to leave a note related to it. Hey man, dead battery or something like that. I could put in here dead battery, and then I can even tag somebody. I got a lot porter that I want to tag, hey, let me tag my lot porter if that was me, and then submit this. He'll get a message in the dashboard and on his phone app. So kind of helpful there. The other part to that is maybe there's a reason you're going to check it out. You can create custom dispositions. Those guys don't have any setup, but maybe it's sending it off to tent shop, sending it off to a body shop, sending it off to an audio shop, whatever the case may be, off to recall, right? If these are used cars that may need to move around a little bit, you can set this up to where if they do leave the campus and that timer does start and somebody gets an alert on it, they'll already know because they can see this. Anytime you mark something with a disposition, it'll highlight that vehicle red. So all the text over here on the far right side would be in red. Days in inventory, perfect example right here. Hey, I want to see every single vehicle that's over 60 days old and where it's parked, right? Well, is it because it's not selling that it's a purple Lamborghini and I sell Fords? Or is it maybe because, where it's parked it on my lot? If I come in here and I zoom in to a vehicle, right, and it's parked back here. Perfect example. This car is parked back here in Mazda service, right? This 2024 Mazda CX-50. Well, what are the chances I'm going to sell that if nobody can see it, right? Because it's parked behind service. Now, there may be a reason it's back there, but there may not. Somebody may have just driven it back to do something and then left it there. So you can start to understand that location data can be used a million different ways. On top of that, we can do reporting. So if you ever want to talk about reporting, it's like, hey, can you give me test drive reports? Or, hey, if I'm using this in service, can you give me idle vehicle reports of stuff that's been sitting for extended periods of time? You can do that even with recon, too, if you want to understand, hey, I've got cars that are working through my own recon process. I've got my own software, but I want to use y'all's tags to understand where stuff is to help those guys be more efficient. But also, if something's been sitting for 2 days and it hasn't moved, the tag has never made a movement, I want to know that. Why are we not working on that car? Are we just losing time on it and losing money and paying for it to sit on my lot? Well, start taking advantage of that. All right, guys, so that's a quick rundown of how Keyper, Ford, and Mazda is tracking not only their keys, but also their vehicles with TrueSpot. If you'd like to learn a little bit more, please give me a call, text, email. All of my information will be in the description of this video, and of course at the end. And I'd love to talk to you about some of the other stuff we can do, whether it's service, you want to start tracking your vehicles and your keys in service, or maybe at a collision center, or maybe you want to look at how to track vehicles through recon. There's a lot of different things I can do. We can talk about reporting as far as different things and knowing when cars were test driven or what idle vehicles are sitting in service or recon. All kinds of cool stuff that we can go over. And I'd love to talk about your store. What makes it unique? Do you have a parking structure and you want to know which level it's on and where? I can help you out. I've done it with plenty of others. Maybe you've got a bunch of different spillover lots that you want to track at. Whatever the case may be. Give me a call, text, email, and let's talk. Later, guys!